It's three guys who combined to play 15 seasons in the National Football League trenches. Well, two guys. And Mackey, who didn't do shit. This is the O-Line Committee.
And for it being June 17th, we are way too packed on this episode. We have content coming out our ears, starting with Jeremiah. You called it. The Birmingham Stallions are the champions of the UFL. Wow. Your guy, Adrian Martinez, taking that championship trophy, the MVP trophy from Tom Brady. Which trophy did he take?
Yeah, no, so he got league MVP, and then he got given the conference championship game MVP presented by old Tommy Brady there. Stallions Dynasty. Three-peat.
It is three in a row.
That's a 3-in-a-row three-peat for them. They are.
Do we count that, Booney, if the league changes during your dynasty, or do you have to start over? Okay.
No, we're counting that shit.
That's like, it's like Oklahoma and Texas go into the SEC this year. It's like if Alabama or if Georgia wins it in, is it the new SEC, or if they just continue to add on to the new titles, right? The league doesn't change.
What do you think about, is it the Big 12 that's looking to just rename itself
sell
to
themselves
whatever,
off
whatever
to the
sponsor wants?
The highest bidder can take any team you want. We will take any bid. Dude, it's terrible what happened.
We're going to have four conferences or three conferences just named after a sponsor pretty soon in college football.
I mean, it's going to be like NASCAR. We're just going to have stickers everywhere.
Right on the helmet, on the front. Visors are going to be like logoed with them.
Oh, dude, your Buckeyes, instead of having the Buckeye symbol for a good hit, it's going to be like a State Farm logo. State Farm.
100%. They'll pay money for that. Someone would pay good money for that.
I hate that they're doing that, by the way, that they're putting logos on sports jerseys. I can't fucking stand that. It is disgusting to me. Remember, we used to have to do it in practice, and I'd be like, what a fucking waste. And they'd be like,
practice is practice, though.
But even then, what the fuck do I care if there's a Visa logo right here? It always drove me nuts. And what was it? San Francisco had Oracle, and it was like, this is so cheesy. It looked like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, but that revenue is added to the pie that you guys get a percentage of, right?
Whatever makes them happy. Whatever makes everybody happy.
That big contract you signed with the Vikings, that's because of those Verizon logos on the whatever they are.
Verizon made the
Don't mind the fact that you're playing, 16, 17 games a year. We're not using that money either.
Alex Boone presented by Verizon.
Dude, the money they get from Oracle and Verizon is so minuscule to what we fucking make on the field that they're like, whatever. Use that to pay whatever the light bill this year. Gives a shit. It's just annoying that
you're
have like
cynical this morning.
I'm
What's
not.
Wrong?
I've always had this. I've always had this.
You're cynical this morning.
Oh, I feel great, dude. First day back in the gym. I'm so excited. Crushed the boys. They could barely walk out. It's fucking insane.
How many days until the knee surgery? Are we counting down here?
I'm pushing it back a week because I got to take the family on vacation. So it'll be August 4th or 5th.
Where are you going?
So, I don't know yet. Any ideas? Throw them this way.
Got 6 weeks to plan a family vacation of 5, 6.
You know what? If there's any knee surgeons that consume this podcast, float Alex an offer. What kind of discount can we get for this knee surgery?
Get out of here.
We'll throw your logo on his knee. We'll tattoo it across his knee when he's all said and done. Brought to you by Pfizer. You and Travis Kelce.
Dude, that would be awesome to get it sponsored. A surgery.
Striker Medical Equipment by Alex Boone.
Striker. Name scares me.
Oh my god. Okay, big boy question. So there's actually two big boy questions. The second one's going to be the second installment of the offensive line rankings. But here's let's do 11 through 23 so we can do the 10 worst for the last episode.
That's not proper math, but that's all right. We can go through 22.
True.
There's only 32 teams in the league.
23.
So we'll go through 22. You said through 23, so we'll go through 22.
Listen, that University of Minnesota math class that I skipped out on.
Sure. Oh, God. Nebraska wasn't any better.
Easy over there.
Easy.
Here's the big boy question of the week. Do you think the Jets are headed for another train wreck season based on the last week's worth of Aaron Rodgers fodder?
No. I love that we are so against this right now. I love this. Go ahead.
I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Okay. Listen.
Oh, everything's fine.
Everything's fine. I think everything is fine, right? The way that Saul in his press conference was like, we've been in discussion about it. We've talked about it. There was an event that was very important to him this weekend, and he was going to go, right? There was no animosity. There was no I mean, he kept saying inexcused, which was driving me insane because it's an unexcused, but whatever. But like the way he kept saying it,
the grammar police are trying
Yeah,
to
grammar police, watch out.
Words have meaning.
Here we go.
But like, I don't think it's that big of an issue. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think the Reddick thing is a bigger issue than the Aaron Rodgers thing. I mean, none of the players came out and seemed like they had a problem with it. Like, I don't know. I think everything's okay. I think it's a slow news cycle, right? It's like, do we want to talk about Aaron Rodgers? Do we talk about the WNBA? Like, those are kind of the only two things we have going on right now, right? So everything's kind of pushing that basket, so it's hyper-focused around there, and it's always going to be hyper-focused around Aaron Rodgers, but I'm not hitting the panic button by any means.
Okay, Booney?
I mean, I'm not saying I'm hitting the panic button, but I am saying that there could be something on the horizon that could just take this out. I mean, number one, dude, what event do you have that we have this football?
I don't know. We don't know.
You have to be here. These 3 days, you have to physically.
We have hints.
Like, that's, I mean, what is it?
Well, I'll
What's
hit
the
the
hint?
panic button if you guys won't.
What is it? Where was he?
Panic button.
No one knows.
So-
He had an important event that he needed to go to.
That's
that
my
could have been
whole point.
anything. It could have
Like-
been anything.
We all
There
knew
are-
it in the beginning of this, that in these 3 days, you had to be there. What was so
There
important?
are so a couple things. All right, I'm gonna start this journey by reading you again what Aaron Rodgers said on January 8th at a podium, condescendingly to the
Yeah.
reporters assembled about his teammates and organization. Anything that doesn't have anything to do with winning needs to be addressed.
Yeah, they're
Anything
fucked.
in this building that we're doing individually or collectively that has nothing to do with real winning needs to be addressed. It's not a half the time thing. It's not a sometimes thing. It's not a most of the time thing. It's an every time thing. If you want to be a winning organization and to put yourself in position to win championships, everything you do matters. And the bullshit that has nothing to do with winning needs to get out of the building. That should be the focus moving forward. And I bring to you various NFL insiders have confirmed that he's in Europe on a vacation, and that B, as part of the vacation, there's some speculation he's on another ayahuasca retreat where it's like 3 or 4 days of meditation, contemplation,
they're fucked.
and drinking a
You went on
potion that
vacation
makes
instead
you
of going to work. I don't. You're not gonna. I'm sorry. There's no. In the New York media, they're gonna eat him up. The minute something goes south, everyone's just gonna jump on him and Hassan Reddick. It's just gonna be a mess. And the New York media is what is gonna blow this up. It doesn't have any. Like, the team could do whatever. And to Jay's point, when you're either, I mean, dude, there's nobody on that team that could trump him. There's nobody on that team that could come out and be like, yeah, it's bullshit that he's not here, because they're all younger than him, number one, and two, nobody has the resume that he has. That's why you don't hear anybody on the team going, this is bullshit. But I'm sure behind closed doors, people are like, what the fuck do you mean he's on vacation? The fuck did you just say he's on vacation?
But you know who could have put an end to all of this is Robert Saleh. Robert
I
Saleh.
agree.
So he
Where are
brings
your
it up at
balls?
the press conference, and he could have said,
This is bullshit.
We've no, or he could have. Well, he could have said that, or he could have said, we've been in communication for weeks. This is an excused absence. We are excusing him in advance.
Anymore. You can't anymore. By league rule, you will be.
You are
fined.
not allowed to excuse anyone from these 3 days. This is an NFL
Mandatory.
Let's put it
Mandatory.
this way: the entire OTAs is put on by your team. The last segment is put on by the NFL. So basically, they're the big dogs, and they're like, "Nope, everybody's here." Why? Because we all just want to see you. How about that? Because we want you in the same fucking room because we told you to be. Because we're paying you $100 million. How about that? Stupid. Keep asking questions and see how long these questions keep going, because they don't go very long. I don't know what you don't fucking get. They're fucked, Jay, and you know as much as I do.
No, they're not.
Dude, he went on another ayahuasca trip.
Alex is
He
like,
went
I'm
from
not
an
going to hit the panic button.
because I didn't know where he was. I had no idea. I thought he was like, hey, maybe he went to something. Maybe he went to some training somewhere. Oh, he's on vacation in Europe. Yeah, no, you guys are fucked. I'm sorry. I mean, the minute somebody's like, yeah, I'm going to, and I don't care if it's excused, unexcused, whatever it is. You can't, these 3 days, you have to be there.
What would be your guys' list of acceptable reasons for Rodgers after delivering that sermon back in January to miss mandatory minicamp? Like, what would you say? Does European trip in Iowa, if you're a teammate of his, you guys are in that locker room, and you find out, oh, he's in Europe on an ayahuasca retreat.
I'd be pissed.
Is that acceptable to you?
No.
Or would it have to be something like, what's on the list of acceptable
No, because you
reasons
just
to
gave
you?
everybody that tongue lashing. I mean, something like family related. Like, hey, something family related came up. I can't be there.
Doesn't have
Dude,
any family.
Of course, he alienated his family 15 years ago.
my whole
'cause he's a
point. So you
raging
really kind of
narcissist.
alienated yourself. You don't really have any excuses anymore. You could, I mean, that one's out the window.
I mean, if he's going to see, like, if he's having some issues with an injury or something
Even
like that,
then,
he's going
no.
to see a specialist, like a super specialist, or he's going to get some type of injections that take 8 weeks before you can go, and that was the week he needed to do it before he could get ready for training camp. That'd be the only thing that in my mind I'd be able to put a pass on.
I still wouldn't be okay with that because I'd be like, well, you had the week before to do it, and you have the week after to do it. I mean, I don't. These 3 days you have to be here, and you not being there is a clear indication that things are not going well. Like this is one of the reasons. This is one of the ways that most guys show you, like, hey, this is not going to be good. You missed these 3 days, and that's a clear red flag to everyone. Like Hassan Reddick, it's not being talked about enough. It wasn't there. People, this is the quickest way to be like, I'm not happy or something's not going to go well because I'm not coming to the 3 days that I was 100% for sure supposed to be there.
You know who's laughing? The Packers.
Oh, guaranteed.
Like, you know, they're sitting there like, oh, we got him out at the right time, boys. Like, we milked
Boy,
him.
he really went
milked
crazy.
him dry. We got what we needed out of him, and we just shipped him off at the right time here, friends.
They're
And
looking
got
better and better
the
every
year
year.
after.
They're looking better and better every year, dude. I swear.
I still think they'll be fine. I still think they're going to win the division. I
Really?
still do. Yes, I still do.
You got your little Buffalo Bills shirt on today.
No, I got the Bills shirt on. It's free
We
gear,
just did a
man. If it's
Miami
free, it's for
Dolphins
me.
film breakdown.
I
You
still
should
think
be
the Jets
ashamed
win
of
it.
yourself. You used to go through tables with like a proud
I did
Buffalo.
go through. Listen,
now
I
look at
still
you. The
love
Jets are
the
gonna.
Buffalo
They're not.
Bills.
They're not.
I still
They're
love the Bills. They're one of my favorite teams. That doesn't
I
mean
know.
that I have to pick with my heart, picking with my brain.
All right.
And yes, I did mow the lawn this morning, so
Oh, so we got a little
Oh, no wonder he's so fired up. He's got a Modelo in him.
singular, just a singular Modelo. It was
I
an
knew
early
he
mow.
was-
It was
I
a
knew you
7:30
were-
mow.
No wonder
7:30
you were.
mow.
Hey, I was wondering why you attacked me so hard. Right. I'm like, why is he coming at me so aggressive?
You were being so cynical about the NFL raising money. I don't understand it. Money's
You're not
good.
sick of wearing fucking tags all over your
I didn't
shit
give a
for
shit.
somebody else?
I didn't give a shit.
I mean, it just took away the purity of football. Like, that's,
What would happen if you were to put like a piece of tape over it to fight
They
back?
would yell at you.
oh, are you kidding me? They take it off. The
They
jersey
would just-
goes to them every night. And they're
They
gonna
just rip it off.
And then
you
they'd probably
thought.
be like, hey, I have a question. Why are you doing this? And you'd be like, because I don't like it. And they'd be like, well, you adding more drama to it doesn't fucking help. By the way, we just cut you. Get the fuck out of here. Like, you can't really say much until it's over. And then you're like, God, that was so stupid. We had to wear those logos all over us.
Okay,
At least
I
you have to
one-
wear the Guardian caps, though. I would have
Oh
hated
my
that.
God. I wouldn't have worn it.
I think
I
those
wouldn't
are
have.
so
caps.
stupid.
Yeah,
Those
so
things are
stupid.
way in practice now that are like the extra padding
Oh,
on the helmet.
yeah.
And now they're
I
going to
think
wear
those,
them in
I think
games.
those make you
Oh my
look like
God.
Pee Wee football. Like, I get it, and I'm all for player safety, and if it's letting concussion down, sure. But I just feel like I'd be running around like, get this freaking thing off my head. Like,
They look
I don't know.
huge. Dude.
I want to
so
see,
big.
dude. I want to see Alex put one of those on, go back to training
No.
camp with a giant sponsor logo on the
Yeah.
side of it.
Dude, there's
Hey.
no way someone actually wears that in a game, right?
Oh, no, somebody will. Somebody's going to get paid to do it. Someone's going to get paid enough money to do it.
I don't know. I
I'm
can't
going to
imagine
die
many
the first
people
time I
want-
see it. That's going to be my mic.
Well, what
the
are they
first
do? Are
time I
they
see
going to
it.
paint them? Are they going to paint them the same colors of the helmets?
I don't
Like, because
know.
right now they're just like that monochrome, like beige color,
Yeah.
or they're like blue or whatever. So, like, are they going to paint the logo on the Guardian cap?
I don't think they thought about that before they went out and were like, yeah, you can wear it during games. They probably looked back like the next day like, God, that was fucking stupid. Why would we do that? Why the fuck would we allow this?
We can't
Terry!
be on national TV with these things,
right?
It's ridiculous.
You guys look like a bunch of idiots.
You know, the first time someone wears one too, like Collinsworth's going to put one on in the booth. Like, these are what the guys are wearing
The
out
slide
there.
in. Okay, I have one more Jets question to wrap this part of the conversation. Then we'll get to the second installment, right?
Yeah.
So, Jay, you think they win the division?
I do.
Booney, you're kind of with me. You-
Oh,
in
no,
this train
dumpster
right now.
fire. Dumpster fire.
Is there so division's one thing, but then they'd still have to get to the playoffs and they'd have to like play a playoff game or two. Is there any way in which this Jets Aaron Rodgers marriage has a happy ending of some kind that
Super
doesn't
Bowl.
involve like fired coach, contentious back and
Super
forth? in
Bowl.
the media?
That's it. They win a
Yeah,
Super
it's
Bowl.
got to be a Super Bowl.
I mean, that was why they signed him, right? Like, that was kind of chips all in. We're signing Aaron Rodgers to go win a Super Bowl, right? It wasn't like we're signing Aaron Rodgers to turn this thing around, or like we're signing Aaron Rodgers to be competitive. Like, it was, we're bringing in one of the best quarterbacks to play in the last 2 decades, and we're bringing him in to win us a Super Bowl for the Jets. And that's the only way everyone ends happy, because if that doesn't happen, someone's getting fired,
Right.
people are losing their jobs, players are getting cut. Like, it's going to end poorly, but that could ultimately, you could say that about every program. You know, like
Right.
every organization has that goal. But
Yeah.
when you become publicly with the move that they made to get Aaron, that is the only thing that makes us be like, yeah, That was worth it.
It worked. Right.
Yeah, it worked. Otherwise, it's going to go down in flames because once you don't and his cap starts hitting what it does, players start not being able to get re-signed and people leave and GMs get fired and all that fun stuff.
Well, I think that too. And like you said, the minute they start losing, the press is just going to destroy them. And it's just going to start coming after everybody and asking more questions than they already are. And how serious was this back in June when you didn't show up and all these things? And it's just going to become so much more. But, Jay's right. If you win and you win a Super Bowl, then everything's
All
a
is
moot
given.
point. Yeah,
All
nobody
is
gives a
forgiven.
shit.
What I guarantee you, what happens is somebody in the New York media is going to say, "Okay, I'm pulling up your quotes from January,
Oh,
and
for
you
sure.
said anything
Yeah.
that doesn't have to do with
Guaranteed.
winning." But then he's going to respond because he always has a response.
He's always
going to
ready.
respond and say, "I said anything that doesn't have to do with winning, and ayahuasca retreats help me get right for the season and help me perform at my peak."
He'll have an answer.
That's like being like, a Vegas bender makes me feel better about my life. I should just do it before the
Rodman.
game. Yeah, I know exactly, right? Like, dude, anybody can
you know what?
sound.
Here's what he's
smart.
going to do.
It doesn't mean
here's what
it's
he's
a smart idea.
Here's what he's going to do. He's going to get ahead of it, and before training camp, he's going to go on the McAfee show and talk about it.
In
For
his
sure.
wine
Right? Like
cellar.
he's going to control the narrative. He's great at that. He's always been very good at that.
Very smooth,
He's not going to wait for his first press conference after training camp day one
No.
to say, "Oh, where were you? This, that, and the other thing." He's going to get ahead of it and say, "This is where I was. Here's why I did this." Rationalize all the things, and then they'll have to ask him about that, and he'll be like, "I already talked about that. I'm focused on football."
Yeah, we're not talking.
Mark
about
my
that.
words.
Right.
That's exactly what's going to
Hey,
happen.
that's
I already
actually
discussed that. That's already come
genius.
out. We're not talking about it anymore. I'm here to focus on football. And everyone's going to be like,
Would you guys rather spend 3 days at an ayahuasca retreat or 3 days at a darkness retreat?
ayahuasca. Do
Ayahuasca
not put me in a
for
dark room,
sure.
dude. Dark room by myself for 3 days. I would make it
No headphones.
maybe
for
an
Boone.
hour. Maybe
No
an hour.
headphones.
I could do the 3 days in the dark room.
No chance.
Oh yeah.
I
I think
couldn't
you're
do
the
3 days
least
in the dark.
likely of the
Yeah,
three of us to be able
if
to do
I'm
that.
putting odds on that, it's very high that you're walking out within the first hour.
No, I would do it. We should do this.
No. I'm gonna do
3
hard
days in
no.
a dark room challenge.
Hard no.
while taking ayahuasca.
Way worse. Way worse.
Because then you can't see where you're.
Dude, yeah, here, let's
stepping
inject. Here, drink this psychedelic potion and then sit in a dark room with your thoughts. No thanks. Hard out. Hard out.
I'm so in.
Oh my
I
god.
am so in.
Oh my gosh, you're a crazy
Oh
person.
god, it sounds amazing.
All right, let's rank. This is
Yes.
this is installment
that's
2 of the NFL's best and worst offensive lines. If you missed the top 10, you guys both have your 1 through 32. You guys unveiled your top 10 last week. And so now we're going to go 11 through, and look at in my notes, 11 through 22. The
There
math
you
is
go.
right in my notes.
The
here.
math is right in your notes.
Jay, you're just being a dick.
Dude, I got some hate in the comment section about not having the Vikes as a top 10 O-line.
Oh,
There's
In
a
fairness, I think the largest percentage of fans that listen to this podcast are probably Vikings fans.
That's
'cause
fair.
You guys play
Fair.
for the Vikings.
And,
I'm a
hey,
Purple
listen,
Daily host.
I love my Vikes, and they're coming up. They're coming up, okay? It's not like I have them ranked in the 30s, but based off listen, Boone and I are close on things. We're not.
We
far
are
off on
very
that
close. I'm excited to see your list.
All
So
right.
go ahead. Hold on. I gotta find. Hold on.
All right. So
Somebody
I'll run,
was in. Hold on.
I'm going to
Somebody was
run
in my
through mine.
office.
I'm going to run through. If you didn't catch last
Fucking
week,
kids.
I'm going to catch last week.
Johnny's
I'm
got takes on 18 through 22. Right?
Yeah, he's got notes. He's got
No,
comments.
I just see random notes like "Love you, Dad," and then it's like the name Bear. I'm like, all right, cool.
My son writes scribbles and then hands it to me. He goes, "This says I love you, even in my heart." I'm like, "Thanks, buddy. Love you too, man." Like, it's just a notepad. He's like, "Are you gonna put it up on your computer?" Because I have sticky notes everywhere. Right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just how I operate. I'm like, "Sure, I'll put it down here." That kid forgets nothing. He came down here the other day. He's like, "Where's my sticky note?" This is like 4 weeks ago. I was like, buddy, I had to get some new ones. He's like, "I'll make you a new one." Came back down later. He's like, "All right, got the sticky note, pal." But yeah, so
I
my
love
top 10. I'll run through my top 10 from last week.
Yep.
Detroit, Cleveland, Atlanta, Philly, Colts, Texans, Kansas City, Jets, AFC division champions, Kansas or Green Bay, and Baltimore. Right. So those were my
And-
top 10.
Mine was Detroit, Philly, Falcons. No, wait, I switched them with the Browns, Chiefs, then Falcons, Colts, Ravens, Jets, Texans, Vikings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Now-
we were off on like what? We had one team that we didn't agree on, and I think it was the Vikings.
Vikings and Packers. There's
Vikings
Yeah,
and Packers.
Vikings and
different
Packers.
different orders, but yeah. You guys you guys had consensus 9 of the 10. So let's go 11 through 15. Jay,
Go ahead,
you
Jay.
start. Booney, you go after Jay, and then
Go
we'll
ahead.
run.
All right. So for 11, I have the Rams. I have the LA Rams at 11, right? They signed Jonah Jackson in the offseason. They're going to move Steve Avila into center, their second-round pick from TCU
Love that
last
move.
year,
Love
who
it.
played left guard for them. They re-signed Kevin Dotson, who was one of the most – we did a film breakdown on him last year. Was one of the best guards in the league. And then Alaric Jackson is going to be their left tackle. If they had a better left tackle, a more name-stayed left tackle, they might have cracked the top 5 for me.
I agree.
They might have been up there because that from across the board, Rob Havenstein, veteran, solid player on the right. The only hole in this offensive line right now, and I wouldn't even call it a hole, like the only glaring, like not superstar player is Alaric Jackson at the left tackle position. Right. Yeah. Other than that, they've done a great job of bolstering that offensive line. They want to get more physical. They want to protect Matthew Stafford. He's getting older. They know he can't get hit. They really came on strong at the end of the year last year. Also, I know this is kind of a weird Rams breakdown, but their defense last year, besides Aaron Donald, all 10 other starters on that defense were either on vet minimum or rookie contracts. Right, so they're young, right? So they had the money to invest with Aaron retiring there. So I love their offensive line. I think they do a great job. Ryan Wendell's a phenomenal coach as well. So I have them at 11.
I put them at 11 too. Sorry.
There you go. I have the 12. This is where I have my Vikes, right? I have the Vikings at 12. Again, Darrison O'Neal, as good as they come. We talked about it last week. We're talking, does Ed Ingram take the step this year to be that more consistent? What Garrett Bradbury are we getting this year is always the question mark, right? Is he the consistent guy? Is he going to regress? He's getting a little older. Can he stay healthy? Right? When he's healthy, he's great. When he starts having the back issues, it's really tough. And then you get Dalton Reisner back, who's going to, my guess is he's going to start at left guard instead of Blake Brandel, right? He's going to probably be the left guard starter. So, again, you've got some moving pieces on the interior there that are question marks, but overall, stud left tackles there. 13, I have Tampa. I have Tampa Bay at 13, right? Tristan Wirfs made the move to left tackle last year. Didn't skip a beat. Stallion. I think they'll start Graham Barton, their first-round pick out of Duke, at left guard. They're going to have Robert Hainsey there in the middle. They're going to have Cody Mock there at right guard, and then Luke Gadecki on the right side. Solid offensive line. Going to be really good. Cody Mock hopefully takes a jump in year 2, right? And then you're starting another rookie there on the left side who I think was one of the most talented rookies in this class. You know, he fell because he wasn't a true tackle, but I think he's going to be an elite guard, and eventually he'll do what Steve Avila did. If they move on from Robert Hainsey, they're going to bump Graham Barton in to play center for them.
Yeah.
Right? So then at 14, I have the Chicago Bears. Right? Chicago Bears at 14. You got Braxton Jones at left tackle, Tevin Jenkins. They bring over Ryan Bates from Buffalo, stick him there in the middle. Then you got Nate Davis at the right guard position. Then you got Darnell Wright, who was a top 10 pick last year. He's going into his second year starting at right tackle. I think that's really like going to come around a solid group with a young quarterback. They're going to have to be great, but they put some money into that side there.
The Bears, I know it's nice to have a quarterback that can run for like 1,000 yards, but they second in the NFL in rush yards per game behind Baltimore last year.
Yes.
Although those are loaded stats. I mean, it was easy.
They're loaded. Yep.
And then to round it out at 15, I got the Niners. I got the Niners at 15, right? Trent Williams and McKivitz, right? Trent Williams, if I'm going to read these names off of this list, Trent Williams is really the only name you guys are going to be like, wow. Right?
Yep.
That's a dude. Right, you go Aaron Banks at left guard. You've got Brendel at center, John Feliciano at right guard, and then Colton McKivitz at right tackle. Right, not a lot. And like I said, I'm not ranking these based off the team. Right, I took this team last year in our Fat Guy Fantasy for the rushing yards, and it worked out for me. But like, if you're just talking about strictly skill at the offensive line position, this isn't a star-studded lineup. Like, they're all really serviceable players. They've played a lot of football, but none of them are like, man, that's our guy for the next 20 years besides the left tackle
So
position.
Scheme and McCaffrey are huge
Yes.
factors for why
Huge
they're
for that.
140 yards a
Yes.
game.
That's why it works really well. And they run. I mean, they are
It's also
guys that
because they
run
don't
off
have
the
any
ball
money
well.
to pay anyone else.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
Like,
they
you're
got
paying
all in the
Debo, you're
backfield.
paying Christian, you're gonna have to pay Brando. You got all the money on the defensive side of the ball. They felt like, hey, we don't have to pay. We just need to get serviceable guys that are middle of the road pack players at the other positions, and then we'll be able to make them great and make them do things well with the scheme and the schematics that we have. So, yep, I go Rams, Vikes, Tampa, Bears, Niners.
Okay, Booney, you got Rams 11.
Yep. And then I have Bucks at 12 for the exact reason that Jay said, and that's like the exact lineup that I think it's going to be. Wirfs, Graham. I think it'll be Hainsey, Cody, and then Gadecki. I think that's a scary offensive line. I think they're big up front. They're tough. You get Graham Barton, who's coming out of Duke at the left tackle spot. You kick him in, he's fucking going to be on fire. Put him next to Wirfs. I'm really excited to watch that offensive line down there and to see how they do. Let's see, 13. Call me a little bit of a homer, but I'm kind of excited about this line. The Bengals. And I'm excited because I like the Armarius Mims pickup. I'm not so excited about the Trent Brown signing, but the Armarius Mims, like, where does he fit into all of this? Does he find a spot on the line right away? I think he is a fucking freak talent. And I think that if you can get him on this offensive line, like, I love the way these guys are built from Ted all the way out. Obviously, CV's in the gym. We love him to death. OB on the outside. I love the way he plays. I think at times he gets a little stiff and a little slow, but I think if he continues to get better, he can work things. But it's this Armarius Mims and the Kappa. You know, you have him on the other side who's a tough guard. I love him. Joe Burrow, obviously their scheme is to throw the ball, which they are not really these guys that are drop back, but they beat the shit out of you, and they're good at it. I think I see them maybe taking a jump this year with this Armarius Mims jumping into the group. So I kind of put them at 13. 14, I had I'm going to leave them there. I put the Dolphins. And I know that I know. They lost Robert Hunt to the Carolina Panthers, right?
Yep.
But the reason I keep them there is, once again, to me, they're kind of like the Niners, right? Like, they're a good group of offensive line. They're coached well by Butch Berry. They're a run off the ball team. I was asking about Teron Armstead because I'm like, he's obviously the biggest piece of their group. And once again, he's really the only name on the group that you're like, this guy's really the standout. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, listen, they play well together though. And they're a badass group. I expect them to come back again this year and be tough again. I'm not saying that their offensive scheme is helping them. I just think that the way that they're coached, and they always do show up well. And we've broken down a lot of their films. They are very good at the run game. Sometimes you don't have to be a fucking superstar to show up in the run game. You just got to be a badass. And you have to be coached well.
You guys, so this is the highest. Booney, you have the Dolphins higher than Jay because Jay doesn't have them on here yet. So 14th.
Is that where you put the Bears? Yeah, you put the Bears there.
I have the Bears at 14.
But what does it say then? And the Dolphins, even as people reminded us, we did that film breakdown last year, that by the end of the year, it was cold weather, but it was also, they're down to like fourth, fifth guys off the bench on their depth chart. Yeah. So what does it say that the Dolphins led the league in rush yards per attempt, 5.1, without a running quarterback, really, without a high-end offensive line? I mean, that would seem to speak really well to Mike McDaniel and scheme, and also the speed and the weapons they have on offense, right?
Absolutely. And obviously, like, we broke down last week about the miscues, right? Like, about the misdirections, the flies, the sweeps, all the things, the bubbles that just make you throw everything into it. But you talk about a team that I think is going to have a good year, and I think they're definitely in there, the Dolphins. Now, this one might come out, and here might be another homer, but my guy Jim, and I've heard some stories already. The guys were back in the gym, and they were telling me some stories about old Jim. And old Jim's he's still back in his old ways. But I put the Chargers here at 15.
Let's go.
I think these dudes are fucking primed to go. And I think that when you talk about the strength program, and that was one of the things that has kind of been echoing from the guys that have come back from the Chargers already, is the strength program is out of control. And my boy Brent Lang came back and looked like a fucking house. And I was like, dude, what you been doing? He was like, they have us working out a lot. I go, Jim's still at it, huh? He's like, dude, he loves big fucking O linemen. I go, yeah, loves them. Like, in my prime, I was 6'8", 325. I was huge, right? Like, he loves the big boys. He's like, yeah, but he'll tell you if you're fucking fat. He'll tell you right away. He's like, dude, we had exit meetings. He told everybody right to their face, you're too fat. You need to lose weight. I was like, oh, yeah. Jim's not afraid to be direct. Like, he'll fucking give it to you. But you talk about these two stalwart tackles, obviously Joe Alt on one side and Rashawn Slater on the other, and you talk about the run game that they're about to impose on so many people, and just the fact that I'm not trying to take scheme into effect, but they're not going to be throwing the ball 65 times a game anymore. It's going to go down to probably 35 times a game. That's obviously going to make these dudes' run game way more important. And when you talk about the guys up front, I think they have Bradley Bozeman up front, who comes from obviously the Ravens. His brother coached him, and I was a fan of Bradley Bozeman. Big ass motherfucking center, right? Losing Lindsley will be an issue, and I think that's why I kind of pulled them down a little bit farther than I wanted to, because when you lose your center, it is different. It's harder, and you have to make sure you're on board. But it sounds like everything's on the up and up out there, so I have them at 15.
Love it. Okay. So Rams, Bucks, Bengals, Dolphins, Chargers for Boone. 16, Jay, go all the way 16 through 22. This will be the
right.
end of our middle chunk.
So I got the Bengals at 16, right? So we're not super far off there. Very similar to what Alex said. I think Cordell Volson, obviously love him to death, client of mine. I think he's going to have a big year. They just re-signed Ted Karras, right? They just got him an extension, right? So he's anchoring that guy back. Kappa, and then, Trent Brown hasn't finished a season in I don't know how long. I don't think he's ever started every single game, especially recently. I think that's why they brought the Armarius Mims kid in to be the starting right tackle in the future, right? He's a kid, though, that if you recall, he only started 12 games in college. Only 12 total. Yeah, drafted in the first, right? So he's still green around the gills, lots of them. But he is the most physically gifted person I've watched on tape in a long time. The dude looks like an avatar. He looks like the big blue avatars. That's what he's built like, right? Arms super long, massive human, bends really well.
Tail.
That was a great tail. Great pickup for them. So I got the Bengals at 16. I have the Chargers at 17.
Ooh.
I have the Chargers there at 17. Very similar to Booney said. I think the scheme fit's going to fit them better. Zion Johnson's going to be a mauler inside. Slater's going to be up for a big contract, so you're going to get the best out of him, right? Contract year, left tackle. He wants to be the guy making $150, $120 million type deal. So you're going to see him. And then, obviously, you got rookie Joe Alt on the other side. 18. Here's where things start getting stretchy, boys.
Hit me.
18. I got the Cowboys.
I do too.
I have the Cowboys. I have the Cowboys at 18. I think that they're going to start Tyler Guyton left tackle with Tyron Smith leaving. They'll start him, their first rounder out of Oklahoma. They'll have Tyler Smith, who's a stud. Man,
how about the next guy in? They
lost Biadish, so I think it's going to be Hoffman.
No, I think it'll be Cooper Beebe. I think it'll be Cooper Beebe.
I don't know if they're going to start Cooper. It could be it could be the third rounder, Cooper Beebe out of Kansas State.
That's why I have them at 18.
I think Hoffman ends up starting. Zach Martin will be at right guard, obviously, and then you have Terrence Steele at
dude, you're wrong. It'll be Cooper Beebe, and this offensive line is going to fucking
two rookies. You think they start two rookies at left tackle and center?
Listen, Mike Solari is the O-line coach. If there was ever a coach that I was ever I need you to teach them everything, and I mean fucking everything, he's dude, sit down, shut up. He is a mental fucking genius. The way he teaches you and the way he keeps you accountable, he'll just be sitting there randomly and be like, "What's this defense?" And you'll be like, "What?" And he'll be like, "What do you mean, what? Why am I asking questions for?" And it's he's always got you on the next level. What's this defense? 3-4, coach. Got you. Yeah, no problem. Nothing skips a beat with him. I'm telling you. It's going to be fine. And I agree with you. Okay. 18 is a great spot for them.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay. 19, I got Buffalo. Buffalo at 19. You got Deion Dawkins, right? Edwards is back. They're going to move Connor McGovern into center because they lost Mitch Morris to the Jaguars. You got Osiris Torrance at right guard, the second-round pick out of Florida. And then Spencer Brown on the outside, also going into contract year. Right,
Love
I think both those guys are great.
Top right tackle, one of the top.
Those two tackles, they're similar to the Vikes. The two tackles are very much stellar, right? I think O'Neal's probably a little better than Spencer Brown, which is why I dropped him down a little bit. But the interior, losing Mitch Morris is going to hurt. I think losing Mitch Morris. Nothing against McGovern. I think he's a solid player, but I think Mitch is a much better player. Than McGovern.
Agreed.
Go to 20 here. I got the Denver Broncos. You got the Denver Broncos at 20, right? Garrett Bowles, Ben Powers, Luke Wattenberg, Quentin Miners, Mike McGlinchey, right? That team last year, I don't think you really got to see the best of that crew because it was just such a disaster. And they were kind of banged up across the board. But when they're healthy, they're pretty good. I don't think they're great. I think they're pretty good, which is why I have them there at 20. 21, I got the Giants. Got the Giants at 21, right? So you've got the offseason additions. They're going to have two new starting guards, right? John Runyon coming over from the Packers, Illuminor coming over from the Raiders, and then you're hopefully going to get a healthy Andrew Thomas and a healthy Evan Neal, right? Both those guys were banged up. I don't think either one of those guys started together more than 3 or 4 games last year, right? And if you got one tackle out constantly, you're just asking for a disaster. And then obviously my guy John Michael Schmitz there in the middle, anchoring down going into year 2. So I think they have a chance to stay healthy, to be good. I think that they could climb this chart really quickly. But with 2 new starting guards, you're always going to be kind of like, oh, I don't know. And then lastly here at 22, I got Pittsburgh. Here at 22. You got Jones on the outside, Broderick Jones. You got Isaac Salamalu from Eagles. He was there forever. He's a great left guard. I think they'll start Zach Frazier at center, the rookie from West Virginia.
For sure they're going to start
him at center. Then you
Over
got James
Herbert?
Daniel. You got James Daniels on the right guard, and then I think you have Troy Fontenot starting at right tackle. Right, the other first rounder from Washington, Zach Frazier, I believe, was a 3rd rounder. So I think they will have 2 starting rookies underneath there. It'll be interesting to see how the rookie center pairs with Russell Wilson, right? So that'll be an interesting pairing. But I mean, that team again, they're going to rely heavily on the run game. But I'm curious what the scheme looks like now that Russell's there. So that's my 15 through 22 there.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
you got,
I like
you got
that. I like that.
Bengals, 16, Chargers, Cowboys, Bills, Broncos, Giants, Steelers with the 10
You're
worst.
giving the Broncos a lot of love, buddy. I'm not going to lie to you. I have them a little bit lower.
You notice who
they
wasn't
need
on
to
there?
show it to me.
Miami. You and
Yeah,
I are
dude,
very
Miami in the
You and I are
bottom 10
very
for you.
different on the Miami take.
That's fine.
Interesting.
All right, so I'm going 16.
16.
I have the Buffalo Bills. You said it, dude. Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown. I love the pairing of the 2 of them. I think that this is a tough team. Losing Mitch Morris is obviously one of the biggest things that I think that's kind of like I would have had them higher had they had Mitch on there and had the trifecta. But at the same time, I love these tackles. Deion Dawkins, can't say enough about the guy that's like 340 pounds, moves like a deer, and he fuck you up in any street fight. I love it. And I agree with you.
I think it's a point to be said too. Mitch Morris didn't get cut because he was a bad player. He got cut because he was too expensive.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's a piece that people are like, well, we let Mitch go. It's like, no. You had to let Mitch go.
Right.
Like Mitch was still playing it. I mean, he was a Pro Bowler, right?
Right.
He's still playing at a top notch. You just couldn't afford him. Right. I think that's a big piece why people will be like, well, what do you mean? It's like he was really, really good. You didn't just cut him because he was bad. And that's a big piece as to why they fell for me is because he's a stud at center.
Yeah. All right. Number 17. I have the 49ers. You put them up a little bit higher than I would have. And it's for the one reason that I said there's only one guy in that offensive line that I'm like, hey, listen, I'm rolling with Trent always. But after that, it's like everyone's kind of following his lead. And I'm really mad about how that Super Bowl ended, okay? I'm really holding on to that fucking missed assignment really bad. Like, it just drives me nuts. And then I love Feliciano. You know I do. When you have only 2 guys on the offensive line, Brendel, I'm not against him, but I think he's getting older, and I think that at times he's kind of limited. But, I mean, I think they're going to obviously be helped by their system and the players around them. When you have Debo and all these guys, obviously everything becomes super easy, but it will be interesting to see the year that they have. But I still have them up very high. I love their coach first. I know he's going to stick a foot in their ass every day and keep them growing. So I have them up there.
Here's a question on the Niners. Like, is there any argument? Like, if I were to sit here and tell you for a bunch of different reasons, age, they've peaked, that they've been good for a few years. They've been to the Super Bowl twice. That they've peaked. Can you argue the other side that the 49ers haven't peaked?
Yes, because I think your quarterback's young enough that you haven't peaked yet. As long as you continue to put pieces around.
Can he
him.
play that much better?
Yeah. Well, can he? Yeah. He probably could. And he's still young enough that we're still like, all right, well, let's see you do it then. Let's get better than last year. I think maybe if at the end of this year they don't win it or next year, it's like, yeah, now you've peaked, because you can always put in new pieces and parts around him. It's the quarterback. It's the franchise. It's the one guy that everyone's looking to. It's the guy that's steering the entire fucking bus. And that's the guy who has his hand on the ball most of the game. It's the quarterback. Everyone follows his lead. And as long as old boy's out there throwing it, slinging it, having fun, and everyone's hyped up, jived up, and ready to go, you can't say they haven't hit their peak the year after they just lose the Super Bowl. Like, you got to be like, okay, they haven't been to the Super Bowl in 2 years. Have they hit their peak? You can't ask like right after they came out of losing the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean,
I'm just saying that because there's so many pieces that I agree with you that you're looking at, and we're like, wow, there are going to be a lot of pieces leaving soon. I fucking know John Lynch is a psycho when it comes to being a GM, and I think he's phenomenal. I think he's great at getting guys to play their best football. I think he's great at getting older guys to come in and do their job and be leaders. Now it's kind of going to be like, hey, can you get enough young talent? Because you're going to need it on offensive line soon. Trent's getting older. He's going to need to be replaced. And then you're going to be fucking hurting at every angle. And at the same time, Debo can't go forever. Brandon Ayuk's going to need to get paid. Christian McCaffrey can't last forever. Defensively, those guys are going to break down eventually. Like, can you continuously put in these pieces and parts that Bill Belichick found a way to find? All these pieces and then go, hey, we're all taking less. Why? Because someone's got to get paid and it ain't you, dude. So figure it out. Like, in order to do that, you have to win. You have to keep winning.
The Chiefs win a Super Bowl and then they're near the top of the league for a couple of years. And then, oh man, it's time to pay Patrick Mahomes, and now we got to make some tough decisions. And they say goodbye to Tyreek Hill. And you could have said, well, it looks like the Chiefs might have peaked. And then they win back-to-back Super Bowls after they lose Tyreek Hill because Patrick Mahomes is that good. I just wonder what this looks like when Trent Williams is gone, when Christian McCaffrey is gone. And we're very close to those two guys they're up against the age cliff. But I mean, if John Lynch goes aces in like 2 or 3 consecutive drafts and puts more pieces around that are 23 years old, okay,
you're good.
I just wonder what it looks like when Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey and Brandon
Ayuk's not super happy there.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
But hey, it looks very different. In case you're wondering, when Trent's not out there and Christian McCaffrey's not back there and Debo's not out there to catch it, like it looks way fucking different.
Mm-hmm. So okay, so Niners are 17. Who's 18? Cowboys are 18 for you.
Yep, we both have Cowboys at the 18 for the same exact reason. Guyton, Smith, BB, Z Martin, and Steele. 19, I have the Packers in here at the 19. I know. I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
I was wondering when they were going to show up.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the. I realize this looking back, like I'm like, wow, this is kind of a disrespectful move. But I don't mean that. They're good players. They fit in a very good scheme and they play well. I think at times they're asked to be on an island a lot and they do it very, very well. I think they will be hurt by losing Runyon a little bit. I think he was a great player for them and a tough motherfucker in the middle. So I'm not saying bad things about them. I love the Packers. I think they're going to be great this year. Number 20, I have the Steelers. I am kind of excited about this group. And I think this is one of my low-key most exciting groups because when you talk about the young players that could possibly be entered in here with Zach Frazier and Troy Fatnu, like you talk about, I mean, maybe even getting Mason McCormick, I'm sure maybe later in the season in there. Like you talk about the depth that this team's going to have at the offensive line. It's kind of fun. And I don't know that I'm necessarily so excited about the Russell Wilson signing because I'm kind of over the whole thing. But I am excited about having what's his name from Chicago? Justin Fields. I think that could be a new look, could be an exciting thing, especially in the AFC North. And so I'm excited about that in this group. And I think they're tough. 21, this is probably one that me and Jay are going to disagree on, but I have the Saints. I do. And I have them up there for this reason. This is my starting offensive line for them. Trevor Penning, Ole, McCoy, Ruiz, and Talise. And I think if you can get those...
Where's Ryan Ramczyk?
Oh, my bad.
You can't take Ryan Ramczyk off the board.
Hold on. Penning, Talise, McCoy, Ruiz. Sorry. I don't know how that got. I'm like Ramczyk. I was writing up this offensive line. I go, I'm missing somebody in here. I'll figure it out as I'm talking. Ramczyk, number one, needs to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy.
That's a big
dude. That's out as I'm talking.
That's another piece. That's
we'll do it live.
I'm like, I'm missing somebody big. And I just remember seeing elbow brace. And I go, elbow brace. But that's the thing is like, you got to stay healthy. And if he can stay healthy, this is a massive dude. Well, we saw Talise, right? And then you talk about putting him next to a guy like Trevor Penning, who, I don't know if anyone knows this, was like 340 pounds and runs like a 4.940 today. Stupid, right? Amazing. And then you talk about McCoy, who's a huge center. And then Cesar Ruiz, who's fucking massive at the same time. And then you talk about Ryan Ramczyk. That might be the biggest offensive line in the NFL now that I'm thinking about it. They might even rival the Ravens. And if you can get them to show up and put out, and I know they have a new offensive line coach this year, I would be excited to see this group, especially with Trevor and Talise over there. That dude, that's almost like 700 pounds. Oh
yeah, those are
fucking
two very
huge.
large humans.
That's massive. All right. They are at 21 and 22. I have the Giants. Okay. I'm excited about them, and I think that having two healthy tackles finally will be good for them. Obviously, you get John Runyon Jr. over there. J. Mike, I love him. I think that this group could be primed for something. Could be a good group, but they got to stay healthy once again. And
Well, there's
I
some
know they've
unproven
been
guys
dealing
in
with
there,
a lot
too.
of issues that they don't have to deal with, like other people getting hurt, like their quarterback and everybody else. But at times, I think this could be a really tough group, dude. They could jump in my board for this season.
Yes, I think that's the group for me that has the most potential, right? Because I mean, you have AD Anthony or AT is just, I mean, he could be an All-Pro, right?
Yeah.
He has the potential to be a first-team All-Pro. It's just a matter of can everyone else click it or not. Like, and Evan's the biggest question mark, right? Can Evan Neal put it together, right? Can the right tackle who you drafted 9th overall be the guy? Right, he needs to. There's no one else on that roster that can. Right, we saw the Josh Azudu experiment last year; didn't go well. Right, like Evan Neal has to be the guy. They didn't bring in another tackle in free agency. They didn't draft another one. Right, like they're all in on developing him. He will be the linchpin in whether this offensive line goes or not.
So really, the only so Booney, to round out your middle chunk here: 16 Bills, 49ers, Cowboys, Packers at 19, Steelers, Saints, and Giants. A lot of similarities in the areas you have the first 22 teams ranked, but the biggest discrepancies so far are Dolphins and Packers.
Yeah,
And
you also have the Bears in there. I have the Bears coming up shortly.
So you
but
haven't had the Bears
too.
yet.
Yeah.
I had the Bears
at 14.
14.
Pretty high, bud. Pretty
I like
high.
the Bears. I like that
All
group.
right.
I like that group.
Okay.
So we'll get you the 10 worst offensive lines in the league next.
I feel
10 that
terrible
need the
saying
most
that.
improvement.
Yeah, I was going to
10
say,
that
don't
need
be
the
a
most
dick,
improvement.
Mackie.
the
Jesus.
10 most garbage.
He's used to
offensive lines in the NFL.
He's already thinking about the clickbait title. Yeah. What do we need? 10 worst offensive lines ranked by two former NFL players.
You're terrible. Hey, I just want to know, who's your 32nd team?
You're not going to know until next week.
Tell me.
No.
You're terrible at this. You're terrible.
I want to know.
That's fine. You'll find out. Tune in next week.
I want you guys to write down on, like, send me a separate blind text or email and guess who each other's number 32 is. And then I can be the keeper.
I'll text it to you right now.
This is who you think Jay has 32 and then vice versa.
Make sure you don't put it in the group chat, Alex.
All right, hold on. I'm going to the single, man. I think.
Let's see. Very excited for this. I got the first mic, by the way.
Who Jay has at the bottom?
No, who you have, right? Or who?
No.
Who you? I'm texting who you have.
Jay, so you just texted me a team. Is that who you have, or is that who Alex?
Yeah, that's who I have.
I want you to guess who the other.
Oh,
person.
you want me to guess?
All right. So this is my guess.
I'm
going to
leave that.
This is my guess for Jay.
I'm going to leave that.
Okay.
I'm going to leave that for my guess too.
And then this is mine.
He just has to tell someone.
He
can't help himself. He's just going to start texting you every day. He's just going to send you another one. This is 31. This is 30. He has to just share his.
That's a college team.
This is the same guy that wants to sit in a dark. This is the same guy that wants to sit in a dark room for 3 days by himself. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's going to work out just fine.
Thinking
for you.
about the worst. Okay, it's time for Who's the Mic here.
Where
we identify the most important things on our minds around football. And this has nothing to do with football at all whatsoever, but it's going to be my mic. And it is hot dogs.
Oh, you took it. Damn you.
My mic is hot dogs.
We were all going that route.
Let's just do one mic then, and then we can do dumb football questions.
This is bullshit.
Netflix is teasing a rivalry simmering for 15 years. Joey Chestnut versus Kobayashi. Unfinished beef. The ultimate hot dog eating competition live on Netflix on Monday, September 2nd.
I can't wait.
Are you in or out?
Oh, in.
I'm in.
Joey Chestnut is one of the greatest athletes of our generation. Full stop. Right? Like, that dude is incredible. And have you seen the drama? Have you been following the drama of how they kicked him out of the 4th of July hot dog eating contest?
Yes. That's bullshit.
There's
total.
Dude,
he took a sponsorship.
He took a sponsorship with
who was the other
Impossible hot
company?
dog. It's an Impossible hot dog. It's not real meat, right?
How is
it's
that
like
a rival,
the Impossible. Nathan's Hot Dog has said no. You signed with another one. Like, he came out with this big thing on Twitter.
Is
Why
Nathan's
would you do
claiming that their event transcends Joey Chestnut?
Apparently,
that we can get as many viewers to watch this without Joey Chestnut going forward.
Absolutely not.
No,
I'm not going to watch it. I'm boycotting. No. I am boycotting the Nathan's 4th of July hot dog eating contest. And it's something I watch every year. I'm dead
think we all
serious.
do.
I pull it up and I watch it every year. It makes me physically ill to watch because I think it's disgusting. But at the same time, it's incredible to watch elite athletes perform at an elite level. And Joey Chestnut's an elite athlete. It's like Joey Chestnut, Michael Phelps. Like they're all just like ranked way up there. I mean, this dude is the most decorated eater of all time. He ate something the other day. I think it was like he ate like 13 pounds of bologna in like 11 minutes or something like that. Like,
Dude,
it's incredible.
It's wild. So this is amazing because Kobayashi was the one that put this event, the Nathan's event, on the map back in the early 2000s. So he was the first one to start really before he came along. The winners of the hot dog eating contest would have like 20 or 25 hot dogs.
Nothing.
I think the record was like 25 hot dogs, and then Kobayashi comes in and pounds 50 of them. And he goes, let's see, 2001, 2, 3, all the way through 07. Then Chestnut comes along in 07, dethrones, gets it up to 66. But then Kobayashi also had a falling out with the Nathan's group. And so they basically haven't competed in 15 years.
Sounds like Nathan's is a real asshole. And you know what? I'm not buying their fucking hot dogs anymore. Dickheads.
I think Nathan's is doing this to drum up drama. Like, I think that this was an inside job, right, from Nathan's and Joey Chestnut's people to get people talking about the Nathan's 4th of July hot dog eating contest, right? Like,
You think they're
how could you kick him out? And then in like July 2nd, they're going to be like, he's back in, right? And then it's going to be the comeback, and then the ratings are going to go through the roof because, like, I've been following this 100%. I've been following this since it came out, mostly because we talked about it on our Huskers radio show the other day for like an hour. And people were not happy. They're like, this is a Huskers podcast. Why are you guys talking about hot dogs? It's like, listen, this is hot news right now, okay?
You don't
It's either
understand.
this or Caitlin Clark not making the Olympic team. I'm picking the hot dogs.
Oh, for
right?
sure.
And so, like, we talked about this, and like he put a whole story on Twitter. Like, he gained like 20,000 followers overnight. Like, I think this is a total PR move by both sides. And then like they're gonna come together and find an agreement there at the end, and then move forward, and everyone will be happy and go. But yeah, tough times in the competitive eating world.
How much does he get paid, do you think, to do that event?
I mean, he can't. It has to all be through sponsorships. I can't
But, like,
imagine
I know.
Nathan's pays him anything.
No, but I'm saying like, in
I
sponsorships.
think
He gets paid like $1 million a year.
appearance fee, though. He has to be worth an
Yes.
appearance fee for Nathan.
You would think.
Do
Dude, I
you
saw
think-
something that broke down. He's eaten over 335,000 calories worth of hot dogs in his
Just in that
lifetime.
contest? Or
Just in that contest.
and he's probably eaten
300.
10 times that just
it's
in
like,
general.
I think it was like 1,800 hot dogs. Like, or like 1,100 hot dogs, something like that. Like, they broke down the like macronutrients of what he's consumed through hot dogs, and it was disturbing.
So can you guys name the only other person besides Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi since 2001 to win
No.
the Nathan's hot dog eating contest?
No, I could not.
Booney, you got nothing?
No.
It was in 2015, and there's a story here. So Matt Stoney put down 62 hot dogs in 10 minutes. I think he competed against Joe because Joey Chestnut had 60, so he did beat Joey Chestnut. And then he launched a YouTube channel, just a Matt Stoney Eats. He has 16.5 million subscribers, and once or twice a month, he'll just do a crazy eating challenge on YouTube for millions of viewers. Like here's the most recent ones he's done. Is eating 24 Popeyes biscuits impossible? T-Pain said he could eat 1,000 Cheez-Its, so he puts 1,000 Cheez-Its in a bowl and sets a timer. 100 Lair lasagna challenge. The world's most sour gummy bears. Like, it's wild. This dude has you win it once in 25 years, and you have 16 million YouTube subscribers.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's like the halftime show of the Super Bowl, right? You're doing it for the publicity.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Alex. In your prime, because I got asked this the other day, someone called in and asked, like, in your prime of eating, how many hot dogs could you eat in 10 minutes?
Listen, I'm not going to say that I was working the concession stand last week at the softball tournament, and I may have housed 12 in 10 minutes and was like, hey,
nothing.
no, I'm not even kidding you. I ate 12 of them, and they were like, it's okay, because whatever we don't sell, we have to eat anyways. And I looked down, and I was like, there's like 20 more. We ended up eating, and I was like, these are amazing. I'm not kidding you. They're so, I could eat so many hot dogs and hamburgers. It's stupid.
Okay, here's another
I
question.
said 25. I said I could do
Easily.
25. I had to do 25
in what?
in 10 minutes.
In
10
10
minutes.
minutes?
Yeah, easily.
minutes.
But dude, you know that would literally be a world record 25 years ago. That's how wild that is. 25
I mean,
and 10 minutes
here's
is
the
a
thing.
world
They
record.
got to be fresh. Like Alex said, fresh out of the foil. Right? Like they've been in the foil. They're a little soggy. Like
There
little
you go.
squished down. Like the stadium hot dogs. I'm talking like the stadium hot dogs. I'm not talking about like the big Franks. No. Like Fairbury hot dogs in Memorial Stadium, 100%. Hammering those
Easily
things down.
25. Easily.
But if they got to be fresh, they can't be cold. And give me like a little bit of mustard mayo on the top. I'm housing those things. I'm
Okay,
crushing
here's another hot dog
20 of
question.
those.
We got into a debate over on our Score North podcast. One of our producers said that he probably eats like 100 hot dogs in a year or something. And we got to, so he found a statistic that the average person in America eats 70 hot dogs a year. Do you think that's correct?
Yeah, probably.
It's so easy to make.
Do you,
Like,
do
I
you
think
you
it's
eat
cheap.
70 hot dogs in a
I
in a
don't.
calendar
Our
year?
family does not eat 70 hot dogs.
I love
in a
hot
year.
dogs, and I don't know if I could eat. That's like
My
one
kids,
every week.
I mean,
No.
my kids eat. My kids will, like I'll air fry some hot dogs for the kids probably once a month. Like, and they'll eat 2 at a time. So I mean, I guess right there you're saying there's 25, right? Like 25 hot dogs per kid. But
if you did it every week, yeah.
that's a lot of hot dogs.
That's a lot. No, we don't eat 70. No.
No, I don't
I
think we eat 70
could.
hot dogs.
I think I could in an hour. For sure.
Would I? Yeah, I mean, I told you guys about the chicken nugget contest I did, right?
100
Did we get into
chicken
that?
nuggets?
To see my neighbor challenged me to see if I
Yes.
could eat, and I ate 76 of them in like 20 minutes. Like, yeah, I mean, I didn't poop for 3 days, but like, yeah, it was. I mean, I don't know. There's just something about like if you want to eat, you just got to go for it, man.
Is
Just
that the
go
current?
shoving it down.
What is the current food? Maybe it's chicken nuggets for Jay. Maybe it's hot dogs for Booney. What is the current food item where if you had to enter a
Chicken
world
wings.
championship, chicken wings,
I could eat 100 of them.
drummies or the flats?
Flats.
100.
Dude, 100. Easy. Dude, I think in college I ate 75 in one night. I just fucking went nuts. Followed it up with like pitchers of beer. I was fucking huge.
You were
I
like
could get-
350.
I love chicken wings. You know I do. I'm obsessed with them. I know. I have issues.
Man, I think it's tater tots for me. Just
Ooh,
pound them.
I could fuck some tater tots up.
Dude,
How about
as
some?
weird as-
How about some? Could pie be one of the things? Because I could
Pie,
crush.
yeah.
As
Blueberry
weird as it
pie.
is, but like a good pizza, I could eat a lot of pizza. Like I
Square,
love
put
pizza.
those little square, like in Minnesota we cut them into square.
Yeah, you guys
Dude,
are
Jets.
Not
Shoot a
like I'm
pound.
not talking like the thick. Like I'm talking like just a normal slice of pizza, like a New York style thin crust. Go for it. I could house unlimited amounts of those.
For sure.
Dude, I'm on this Matt
I'm
Stoney.
hungry now. Now.
The ultimate poke bowl. It's literally like a tub of poke. 2 million Scoville chicken tender. Is that like that's a heat level, right?
That's a hot. That's a
the
hot
hottest
chicken,
possible chicken tender. He did this for, I think this was on Easter 2 years ago. He ate 200 peeps. Those little peeps.
Those things are gross. Hey, by the way, I don't. Hey,
blow them up in the microwave. You throw them in the microwave and explode them. Mom used to get so pissed.
do you guys do the one chip challenge?
I don't do
No.
hot, dude.
Dude,
I don't do.
I'm
that.
of the
I don't
age
do
now
that.
where I don't find that fun anymore. Like I've officially
No.
hit the age where I'm like, I don't want to do the one chip challenge. So these kids on my team are like, Coach, you're a pussy if you don't do it. I'm like, I'm a pussy.
You're 12.
I'm not even
Yeah.
because Jay, back in the day, I would have just put it in my mouth and been like, whatever.
No.
Now I'm like, nah, can't watch you guys.
Dude,
do
that's a
this
day
shit.
ruiner. That's a day
It's a
ruiner.
fucking
maybe
life
maybe
ruiner.
a
What are you
weekend. Like
talking
that's a
about?
weekend ruiner.
Fuck
Like,
that shit. That's
That
stupid.
I don't do
I've
this.
I've always had like stomach stuff, acid reflux my whole life, and I am now when we like do Thai food or something, and they give you the 1 through 5, I ask for 0. Like that's where I'm at in my life.
I'm at a
Zero
0 in my life.
spice?
No, I'll still hit the 5, but I'm not like a one chip where it's like this gonna burn your life off. You're like, no, I don't want to
See,
do that.
I'm like on a scale of 1 to 5. I'm like, give me a 2.5 to 3.
bullshit.
Like, give me a 2.5 to 3. I like a little bit, but if I like spice, but the second it overpowers and ruins your meal, I'm out. Like I don't want to be like sweating and like, oh my god, I have to eat.
So
this.
you're
My
not
eyes
atomic.
hurt.
You're not
No.
atomic at where is it? Wingstop. You're not getting the
No.
atomic.
No.
All right.
Never.
Unnecessary.
See, I don't think the atomic's bad, but I think that everything above that becomes super crazy where you're like, that's out of control.
It's just not fun. I just don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy
You know it is fun. Dumb football questions.
Ooh, get him.
Let's do some dumb football questions here on the O-Line
not
Committee
ready.
podcast.
Yes.
If you guys haven't already, by the way, please click that subscribe button and the like button here on the O-Line Committee YouTube channel if that's where you consume. We also have a line of merchandise for all of your offensive line t-shirt needs, hooded sweatshirts, hats. You can support the O-Line Committee and grab some merch at olincommittee.com, olincommittee.com. And you can always hit us up with your dumb football questions in the YouTube comment section. Let's start with the end is the end, 1, 2, 3. How do you feel about having a bad quarterback behind you as an offensive line?
It's a loaded question.
It's really loaded.
I
define bad.
I don't think I ever had a bad quarterback behind me that I would refer to as bad. I had young quarterbacks, right? I had Josh Allen when he was young. He wasn't great, but like you knew he wasn't bad.
I get this
right?
question now.
Like,
yep.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between like having a young quarterback or a developmental guy that's in his way and just being like, this dude sucks. Like, he's
like,
just
okay,
not.
I'm going to go back. Hey, I'm going to go the other way. I had the experience, and I know exactly what this guy's talking about, and I'm not going to name it quarterback, but I have played with quarterbacks that you were like, I'm going to fucking shoot myself, or one of these guys is going to shoot me before I shoot you. How about that? I can't do this. And it's frustrating. It's very frustrating because I think at times these guys think they can create magic, and you're like, listen, stick to the fucking script. Stick to the script and everything's going to be A-okay, right? Hit one. If one's not open, go to two. And if two ain't open, throw it away. But it's like they get in their mind where they're like, well, I think I can create something. And you're like, it's not what your job is. Your job is from 1 to 2.
I can be Patrick Mahomes.
Right. No, don't do that dumb shit. And I couldn't stand it. And there was times where you would go to him and be like, dude, just do what you're supposed to do. Okay. And I love these guys to death. Jay, you know what I'm saying. Like, it's hard to criticize your friends sometimes, but in the moment, we weren't afraid to give it to these guys and be like, you're fucking this whole thing up. Okay. Like, I had a guy one time that took like a 30-yard sack and we lost it. Like, we were like, there's no way you just took a 30-yard sack when you could have fucking thrown it out of bounds. You stepped out of bounds. You stepped out of bounds when you could have just thrown it. We were hot. And it was like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? And you're up there taking punches, and at times you don't feel like anybody's really happy about it, and it just makes it more miserable. And when you're in pain and you're miserable and you're getting more shots at you, it sucks, dude. But that is the one side of the NFL that I don't think anyone talks about. Everyone talks about when it's super happy and we're going to be great and we're come out firing. But you're like, dude, halfway through the season, if things aren't going well, the rest of the season sucks, and it's really, really hard.
I guess I had a rookie quarterback when I was in my 5th year. I can't remember his name. I was in Carolina. I can't remember. It was a rookie quarterback when I was in Carolina.
From where?
I can't even. Dude, I honestly, he was there for like 4 weeks because
I won't say his name. I just want to see.
He was bad. But like I was playing center with this third team, like getting extra reps in at the center position, like because guys were beat up. And I remember this dude like couldn't run practice, like couldn't get the play call in, couldn't take a snap from me. And I can remember just looking at him being like, you will not get me cut. I was like, I will not get cut because
you will not.
Like, I was like, I refuse to play center with you if you can't take a freaking snap and hand it off to the dude or throw it to the right dude. Like, I will not get cut because of your poor play. Right. And I'm a 5th-year vet at this point. Right. And I'm just cutting this undrafted free agent rookie out. But I only did it because I knew that's how it works. Like in the practice, if you don't have a quarterback that can successfully run practice, it makes you look like shit. Like it does. Like the whole offense is out of rhythm. Everyone's not working. The ball's not getting out. So you're getting beat late, and then it looks like a sack, or everything's a disaster. People are jumping off sides because he has marbles for mouth, right? Like all that stuff will go. Like I can vividly remember like grabbing his face mask in the huddle, being like, "I will not be sent home because of you. Figure it out." Like and then like literally, I think 4 weeks later he got cut and away he went because it was bad.
Goodbye.
So it wasn't. I'm not going to say his name. But is it possible that this quarterback made some starts later on?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just wondering. Okay, because I took this question to mean like
Stop
you guys.
it.
I'm gonna throw just a random name out because it's a famous incident. Remember when Nate Peterman threw like 5 picks in a game?
Yeah.
Wasn't it first Nate Peterman?
Yeah.
But he
Wasn't
stuck
it first
around for a long
Oakland?
time as a backup, right?
Yeah.
I was with him in Buffalo. I got MRSA on my arm because I blamed Nate Peterman because I had to tackle an interception and I ended up getting MRSA in my arm after it. So I blame Nathan Peterman.
That's a wild accusation, by the way. Dang.
It's his fault.
That's
I wouldn't have had to make the
wild.
tackle. You
That's
don't
a
throw the
dang all
interception.
day.
You don't throw the interception. I
The
don't have to
MRSA
make a tackle.
accusation
I
fine.
don't get MRSA. So therefore, Nathan Peterman caused me to get MRSA.
Boy, The potentially lethal infection accusation.
Guess who's still in the league?
There.
Nathan Peterman.
No way.
Yes.
Oh my God.
He is still in the NFL.
Hey man, get your checks. Get your checks while you can.
Got to do it.
Yeah. Okay, next.
Who was the
dumb
quarterback?
football
Tell me.
question.
I'm not gonna. I'll tell you later.
All right.
You can Google it if you want. It's not that hard to find. Phil found it in about 30 seconds, so I'm not gonna hang him out there like that.
You're fine.
Okay, Tony Owens. Well, same sort of spirit of the question here. Tony Owens says, "Is there an easier job on the roster than the third string quarterback?"
The long snapper.
No, fuck that.
That's
Don't you
very,
dare.
Very high
Don't
pressure,
you dare say that about the long snapper, because we saw on Monday Night Football what happens when your long snapper
Sunday
goes
night.
down.
It was Sunday
Night Football.
Yeah.
Listen, the third string quarterback has the cushest job. He is the guy that you see that just doesn't really fucking care that much. He gets the offense. He's down to party. He wants to go meet chicks. He wants to tell all of them that he's a quarterback in the NFL. He's a signal caller. He holds the clipboard. Like, dude, they're fucking funny when you catch them out. They are goobers. And yes, I take none of them serious because I don't know. Like they look like 12-year-olds to me. Like, because they were just always like the guys that you got yelled at by the defensive scout team. They got yelled at by the offensive coach for not making the problem was you would put these guys in a non-win situation. Jeremiah talked about it last week. They would draw up cards that you were like, there's no way that they're going to do this, right? And sometimes the quarterbacks would be smart enough to be like, well, they're not going to do this. And they'd be like, fucking care, run it. Well, the offensive coach would turn around just as it was getting run, and he'd be like, we don't do that. What the fuck is this? And all of a sudden he'd be like, this. Well, coach, that's what they're going to do. The fuck they are. What do you think? They're fucking stupid? And the quarterback would be like, I wanted to. And he'd be like, why didn't you go out and kill it? I wanted to. They told me not to. What, do you have a fucking balls or not, pussy?
Dude, Matt Barkley lived in that world so badly in Buffalo. Like, the card would be like, throw it right here. He's like, are you showing them the card? Like, are you showing them the card too? Because then he'd go to like throw it there. There'd be like the safety, corner, like
4 guys would just
and so like, and then. But if he like dumped it off in the flat where there'd be no one, they'd be like, they throw it to the post. He's like, there's no one covering him, right? And then he'd throw a pick, and then we'd have a like after practice, like, man, the quarterback's got to work on turning the ball over. We can't be giving the ball away like that. And Matt would just be like, what do you want me to do, man? Like the backup quarterback, the scout team quarterback has to like, you're fighting for your job. Right? Because you can't look so bad that they're going to be like, we can't have this guy on our team. But at the same time, you have to give the defense the look that they want, or the defensive coaches are just going to murder you.
Fucking
like they're just going to
murder you.
Boone's right. The backup quarterback or the third string quarterback that runs the scout team is in an absolute no-win because you're trying to impress to keep your job, but also not piss everyone off. It's not a fun place to be during the week. But yeah, come game day, they got a mouthful of seeds and hanging out with a clipboard.
Good luck. Good luck.
They'll come over and turn their hat backwards and show the iPad like, hey, did you see this right over there? Get the fuck away from me. Like,
they're always kind of, there's like a moment of high tension with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and you always see the third string quarterback with the earpiece in and some seeds just kind of lingering nearby.
It's funny. They're funny guys. It was basically what Taylor Heineke when we were here.
Yeah,
Taylor was the man. We used to see him out and shit, and I'd be like, is that Taylor? But Taylor always looked so young to me, and I felt so old here all the time. And it was, I don't know. They do live a cush life, though, man. I'll tell you what.
I had Derek Anderson.
DA?
Old DA. Dude,
I've heard some stories about DA.
Couldn't tell him nothing.
No.
Nothing, dude.
Not a fuck was given.
The O-line or the defensive coach would try and yell at him. He'd be like, I'm in year 16. I'll put the ball wherever the hell I want to put the ball, right? They'd be like, come on, DA, give us a look. He'd be like, all right. Then he'd just start shredding. And they'd be like, God. Like, yeah, those dudes, the uncuttables, dude, the vet uncuttable, like old school quarterbacks, like even Sean Hill. Like those dudes were just, they've been around, they've seen so much.
I mean, didn't Derek Anderson threw for like 400 yards in a playoff game one time?
Dude, DA's the beast.
He had to go in. He had to go in against Monday Night Football against the Patriots, and like he tried to scramble and pulled his calf, and we're like, "Golly, dude, how old are you?" Like he was just trying to like roll out of the pocket.
Hey, that reminds me of Sean Hill. The first time we remember when we were here, and it was against Tennessee. It was that first game, and the first play,
juke and rolled his ankle.
Dude, the first play, he just came out there. He looked over, and he looked like he's like, "Hey guys, here we go. You ready?" And you're like, "Oh God, he's old." Here we go. He's like, "Don't make me do much, okay? Here we go. Here we go." Okay, sure
Dude.
thing, bud.
Came off the sideline. He's like, I tried to make a juke move, rolled my ankle. I was like, it's the first series.
I forgot that was against
Why are you juking?
that was against Brian Rakpo and what's his nuts and
That's helpful.
no God they're D
Tennessee?
tackle now. Yeah,
He wasn't there yet.
no, there was another guy. Who was it? I can't remember who it was. I remember they ran a twist versus me and Khalil.
Jones? Was it Daquan Jones? Daquan Jones?
And they fucking launched Khalil, and I was like, we're in for a day. The guy behind us is 45. The guy next to me can barely move. This guy's 45.
Dude, that's the game.
Like,
That's
You
the
guys
game.
won
we
that game.
We
You
won the
game.
defense. The
I know.
defense scored more points than the offense.
I know.
Yeah.
Like we
And
had the
then
safety. There's a pick six.
So fun.
Like, and I think we only kicked a field goal.
What lies were told that night too? Like everyone's like, "Hey, we can win every game like this. It's okay. It's okay."
we
like,
all got on the plane like, oh my god, Sam,
fine.
you good? Sam, you're gonna be able to start next week, right?
we paid a lot for you, buddy. You better be fucking ready.
Learn the playbook quick, guy.
Yeah.
Learn it quick.
Now.
Okay, Aiden wants to know, do any players ever fake injuries to avoid stuff in the NFL?
Avoid
no.
what? I mean,
Anything.
I think
Training camp,
DBs.
practice.
I think DBs love like, oh, my hamstring whenever they get beat deep.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's
yeah.
that's a classic, like, oh, cramp, hamstring, and they like limp to the sideline, and then 3 plays later they just kind of slowly work their way back out onto the field, and nobody says anything. I mean, that happens like, and even in practice, like that
was kind
happens
of
in practice.
Xavier Rhodes was amazing.
Dude, I wasn't gonna say his name until one of
you.
you two did, but Xavier Rhodes every time would be like, and then the next series you'd see him out there like, I'm good. And I remember the first time he got hurt, it was we were playing
all of us
Tennessee.
like, oh shit.
And I was like, oh my God, he's down. And Shug's like, don't worry. He'll be back next week. Don't worry. I was like, okay, cool. It's all good. I will say this. There has been some times, I'm not going to ever Jose Canseco anybody, ever. There have been some times where the C word was thrown out and it was like, stop it now. Because the minute you start saying that C word, doctors have to pay attention now because so many people have been hurt. And so it was like, and it wasn't so much the players as much as it was the coaches being like, do you have a, and it was like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Right? Like, hey, I'm talking to you. I'm asking you about your concussion. And you'd be like, shut up. The doctor's like, I heard it. Who's got it?
Yep.
I heard the C word. Somebody has to come with us in the tent. And instantly it was like, you fucking serious, dude? Shut up. Like, God. But
Yeah.
for the most part, and especially on the offensive line, I don't really care what anyone says. We hold each other to a very higher standard. Like, unless a bone is sticking out or something is for sure torn, you're not really allowed to come off the field. Like, your boys are going to call you a pussy when you come back out, or they're going to crush you in the fucking locker room, or they're going to crush you in the meeting room. They're going to be like, dude, you left us all out to dry. It's I'm not going to speak for the receivers and the running backs because I was never really in those rooms, but I know in our room for sure, there was times that guys were really fucked up and we were like, hey, we really need you, buddy. And they were like, all right, I'm there. And there was times that we had to sit guys down and be like, dude, you're not doing good. Like, there was a time here in the Vikings where we were all like, you don't look good, buddy. You're not doing well. And if you don't say something, I'm going to have to, because we all love that guy a lot. Nobody wanted to see him get hurt. Like, the rest of us were like, we will sacrifice ourselves for you, but at the same time, we can't lose you. You're a good dude and a good dad. So for the most part, everybody's really tough. Like, everyone's kind of like, I know we're all hurt. I know we're all banged up. And that's why, that's what I think separates the great coaches from the good coaches, is the ones that are like, I know you guys are really beat up. Let's find another way to learn. Let's find another way to teach. Let's find another way to do movements. Like, Tony was great about doing a lot of walkthroughs towards the end of the year. Like, he'd be like, I know we can't move a lot. We're going to come out here. We're going to walk through. And he's very particular about his walkthroughs. And because it was like, we're not getting this work on the field, we need to come out here and do these walkthroughs because I know you guys are fucking broken. So, but dude, if you ever faked an injury to get out of a game, you'd have been fucking fined to the maximist, the maximist of.
What about faking an injury for clock purposes?
That's mostly defense. Those guys are very smart about falling down and being like, dude. One time, Justin Smith was like, now. The other team's like, don't you see him doing this? Go down now or now.
Just passes out.
That's hilarious. No, those guys do that shit all the time. Yeah.
Oh man.
No faking injuries, dude. You got to be born tough here.
It's good to know. Yeah, keep sending us those dumb football questions. We got a bunch in the hopper here.
One more?
But one more, or else
more?
we have to talk
One more?
about a mic that I might have for all of us.
Oh, you got a
Bill
mic right now?
Belichick's new girlfriend, the
20
cheerleader. Are we
24-year-old?
not going to fucking talk about this? Are we serious?
Gronk
Well,
knew it at the roast.
dude,
Gronk brought
Zimmer-
it up at the roast.
I apparently I wasn't paying attention because now I'm catching light of it. And I'm like, Jesus Christ! First it's Zimmer, now it's Belichick. Dude, insane. The
Hey.
cheerleader.
Okay, what's
What
in
the
it
fuck?
for her?
Clout.
He gets to he'll buy her some stuff and then go on
Hey,
trips to
Mackey,
Nantucket or whatever.
love sees no number, man. There's no
The
number
lights
there.
go off. Everything's a 10.
Okay, let's eliminate the number above his head and just look at his head and look at
Okay.
him. What's in it for her?
I mean, he's probably got a bubbly personality. He probably loves the way he makes her feel. Right? Compliments her every morning.
He's super confident.
He's super confident.
Women
right?
like confident men. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be
Taller.
it, right?
Confidence and humor, I guess. Or
Yeah.
that's the one misnomer.
He makes me laugh.
that Bill.
I don't think Bill's
That
making anybody laugh.
Billy
dude.
makes me laugh. Like,
Bill. He's so serious.
dude, what do you think? Like that group chat with her friends is.
What do you think her dad's saying?
Can I
her
meet
dad-
him?
Jesus,
Her dad's
Becky.
like, what? No, his dad's like, so you bringing him over for family dinner, or like, when do we get to meet Mr.
So
Belichick?
Her dad. and I don't know if he's alive or dead. Like I don't know, but like he's almost certainly a decade or two younger than Bill Belichick, right? Because
Probably
she's
the
24.
same decade.
He's like 70.
Yeah. I mean,
So
he's
she-
probably 50s. He's probably in his 50s
Yeah,
or
you're
high
not
50s.
kidding. Jesus.
So he probably grew up watching Bill. Like, dude, you kidding me? He's probably like, I love that man. Or he hates him. Right? There's like one of the two. It's like,
Oh yeah, right.
Like maybe, I mean, but if they came from the Boston area, because she was a cheerleader for the Patriots, right? So maybe he's just like, couldn't be happier.
No, I
Right?
find that so weird.
Already saving up for the wedding, right? Like he's ready to go.
Okay, if you're a cheerleader though, and you've got your eye on everyone associated with the football team, including
That's actually a hard
53
rule.
hulking, brooding players. You guys aren't allowed to date cheerleaders, but the head coach is.
He's
not
no
that
longer a
coach
head
anymore.
coach. He's
not
no
that
longer
coach
a head
anymore.
coach.
And you, good luck telling Bill, hey, you can't date her. Like, you go tell him, right? Like, he's going to be like, go fuck yourself. I run this team. But at the same time,
Do you think that was the same house that he got caught in the ring camera?
I was gonna
Probably.
ask. It
I think it
probably
was. It probably was.
walking out like,
Bill, I have class in 10 minutes. You got to go.
Bill, you got to
got a Zoom link. Got a Zoom link, Bill.
Sure thing, bud.
Yeah, just
geography,
call an Uber. I'll call you later.
I got to go work on some
on the
defensive
calculator.
I'll send you an email.
So, yeah, on to Tuesday. Yeah.
Those are your dumb football questions here. The O-line committee. Click that subscribe button on the YouTube channel.
Please.
We got not much.